Today on the Hollywood Makers, we're joined by Carin Mazaira, a marketing strategist working at the intersection of filmmaking and technology. Let's welcome Carin. Hi, Carin. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
You are uniting technology with storytellers, and your work is amazing. And we're going to talk about that. But because we are fellow Miamians, so you were born in Miami, and then I think, right, and then raised in Miami also, and then you went to New York, Spain, and then LA. So tell me what those different cultures or places that you've lived have impacted your life.
Yeah, so like you said, I'm from Miami, moved to New York, lived in Spain, now in LA. I feel like I have been to places where I have found a really fun community. So growing up in Miami, it's all about family, about uniting people, about having big family dinners for Noche Buena or whatever holiday it is.
Yeah.
So going to New York, I also felt that community. And, even moving to Spain, like I was always searching for like a big community. And then coming to LA, I felt that, I was searching for the right community. And when I got into this industry, I realized that people who work in film and TV really love to have this sense of unity and collaboration. And it is something that I've always had my entire life, coming from a Cuban family, coming from Miami backgrounds, even like living in Spain, like you're part of the American community that's over there. So for me, community is really important. So something that I've always had in my career is finding that sense of community and making sure that you're bringing people together to, collaborate and inspire each other. So it's kind of where I built my career here in LA, and I'm loving it. I'm so happy here.
And I think, as I said in Spanish, Papa Dios, as I call him, he knows what he does. So I think that's how I see you, community builder. Mm-hmm. You are an excellent community builder. That's what I've seen in the work that you do, obviously, in this industry and this evolution of the media and entertainment industry. You study communications, psychology, marketing, and then you went to study your MBA. So tell me about that academic studies and how they form what you're doing now.
Yeah, I think advertising, psychology, and marketing was a perfect triangle of things to study because, my passion is marketing. I love campaign management. I love putting together ideas and collaborating with teams. But then the psychology of it is really interesting, right? Like understanding what people like, how they get together, how they work together. And yeah, I feel like that was really cool as well. And I graduated and I moved to New York and I worked there for about 3 years, trying to figure out like how to put all this together. And I always wanted to have an abroad living situation. So I figured, why not try getting my MBA in Spain? I wanted to, enhance the work I've done with my marketing career, but also have like this diverse perspective, right? Like a global approach. Growing up, I've always traveled everywhere. My family had a family business, so we would always travel to Barcelona or to London or wherever it was. I have traveled to 46 countries and I want to keep it going. So for me, having that global approach is super important. So yeah, I got my MBA in Spain and, bringing that US mentality to the Spanish culture was really cool. Like understanding how to work together. So yeah, I've always thought like marketing with a global perspective is kind of like the right approach for me because there's not a single point of view. Like it's good to get everyone's opinion in the room. And again, going back to collaboration, it's so key for having diverse ideas when coming up with stories or coming up with cool productions. It's good having that perspective.
Carin, what was the key moment when you said, I like to work in the film and entertainment, media and entertainment industry?
It's really funny because I came to LA because of a job in the industry. So I did not realize I was going to work in media and entertainment until moving here. When I was coming back from Spain to the US, I was looking for roles and I said, well, I've done Miami, I've done New York, I'm going to try LA. Let's do it. Let's try LA. So I moved to LA and the first 2 years of me being here, I was actually making websites for movies. So I was more of a digital producer and I was behind the scenes and I was coding I learned how to code. I was coding websites. My last movie website that I made was Rocket Man with Paramount. So I made the whole website for Rocket Man. I did all that. And I loved the industry, but I did not like being a producer. I was behind a desk all day. I was not in the action, which is what you guys know I love doing. So what I did was I took another job and I actually went into the fashion industry. And I am so happy I took this role because it made me realize how much I missed the community. So I worked as a marketing manager at a shoe company for about 3 years after that. And during this time, I worked on the events, I worked on the project management, I did all the work I loved. But it's so funny, in LA, there's no fashion community, which is insane because you think LA is so fashionable.
Mm-hmm.
There weren't mixers, there weren't meetups. I would go on Eventbrite to look up fashion events. There was nothing in LA. It was horrible. So then after a few years there, I knew it was time for a new role. And I am so grateful because someone at Netflix approached me and said, hey, we love the work you're doing at the shoe company. We love that you made websites in the past. Come work at Netflix as a contractor. So I was hired as a contractor, and we need your help. Basically the team I was working on, they worked on the approvals and the behind the scene footage for all the different shows and movies. So I was working with a bit of project management, a bit of like press, a bit of the marketing behind the scenes, and specifically working with like the vendor marketing. So working with VFX houses, working with virtual production studios, getting their assets approved for movies. And going back to that role, I feel like it really did change my career. Like the fact that Netflix brought me back into the industry, I have not looked back since.
Yeah, and you were made for this, Carin. Carin, as we said at the beginning, has worked in Disguise, Leica, and has done in studios, Paramount and other studios, and your work is great. I've been in, again, all these things that you've worked, and like I say, you're a community builder, and you actually unite storytellers with technology. And right now, you're doing something with women in virtual production. I went to your event that you produced here in LA. Tell me about women in virtual production.
Yeah, so I just actually learned today that I was one of the first 10 people that followed the Women in VP LinkedIn group, which the founders told me. I thought it was the funniest thing. But Women in Virtual Production started about 2 years ago by Kathy Crowley and Christina Novak. And they're the two women founders based in the UK. So for the last 2 years, it's been a UK-based organization, and they've been doing events with Epic Games and all these really great studios in London. But they realized that it's time to expand to LA. And eventually they want to open up more chapters as well outside of LA. So a few months ago, I was talking to Kathy. Actually, when I went freelance, I called Kathy for some advice. And I was like, Kathy, this is the first time I'm going out on my own. Can you give me some advice? She's an amazing marketer in the UK. So definitely look her up if you don't know her. And she was like, we're actually also growing our LA chapter. And I said, great, sign me up. Let's do it. So I brought on Ames O'Connor and LB Bunch as well to help me out. And now us three are the LA chapter. So I'm super excited. We have an awesome schedule of activities for the rest of the year. Our first one was at Synapse, and we were planning an event there. Yes, it was an awesome event. We brought in 100 ladies to talk about, what it's like being a woman on set in virtual production. And then we also held a VP workshop, which was really cool seeing, two really awesome virtual production supervisors on set teaching the course. Yeah. So yeah, it
was a great event, and we're going to share some things that, again, in our community, women, and I know how you support everyone, but and it's like me, and even if we are Latinas. Anyway, by the way, how you pronounce your name? Because I called you Carin Mazaira, but how do you pronounce your name in English?
Carin Mazaira.
Okay, that's her name in English.
Carin.
Yeah, Carin. So, I was telling her, I usually speak Spanish every time that I see you because of Miami. But anyway, you produce, I remember when I met you, Carin, I met you in Hollywood Professional Association, a great organization for technology and storytellers, especially for technology. And last year, not 2026, but last year you started, and you're so young, as I said, producing something for the Tech Retreat, which is one of their big events. And then this year, to tell me about those events.
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, like Nancy was saying, I was a YEP, which is Young Entertainment Professional. Although I was the oldest one in my class, it's okay.
You're so experienced.
I'm not that young.
You're so experienced.
But yeah, so I was a YEP. And when I was a YEP, I really did enjoy all the community events that HPA put on together. I love the roundtable events. I thought those are so exciting, hearing about all the different discussions and different topics. And then the HPA Tech Retreat won my heart. It's now my favorite event of the year. So when I graduated the YEP program, I knew I wanted to stay involved with HPA somehow. And knowing me and what I love, the conference seemed like the best fit. So 2 years ago, I reached out to Mark Cholis and then also Craig Germain and asked them, how can I get more involved? Is there anyone who could help or any help you need for like the panels? And they immediately brought me on. So I was so excited that they gave me the Monday track. And then I actually brought in one of my friends as well, Lori H. Schwartz.
I
She's
remember
my good
Lori.
friend, and we work a lot together now.
We should interview Lori too.
Oh yeah, she's awesome. Yeah, you really should interview her. So Lori and I co-produced the first one last year. And, you know, what's great about having us on stage is we bring like a new perspective, right? The HPA has amazing speakers, amazing panelists, and I feel like changing it up every few years is nice to give a new perspective to the conference. Mm-hmm. So our whole thing was bringing diversity onto each panel, making sure there's something that wasn't talked about in the past, right? New conversations, new topics, new speakers. So we brought people from all over the country to our panels, and I feel like that really added some perspective to our discussion.
It did. I think, well, again, because of what you do and how you think, which, thank you, you did those events. I remember I went to the one last year, not this year, and it was great. Let's talk about, Carin, about the AI in entertainment, everything that is happening, and that is, and I'm like, okay, we're going to talk about something that is, but for me, it's very exciting for me. And I think you are also, you like challenging. That's what I take from what you've done in your life. But for me, it's exciting. But also we know that, you know, this is going to really go so fast. What do you think about this corner, what's happening in AI and entertainment?
I think AI and entertainment is just in the forefront, but also, you know, going back to my roots, like we need to get people who know about AI in the room talking. So something that I've been doing a lot lately is working on AI meetups, of course, naturally, right? Like, again, I'm not here to dictate what's the future of AI. What I want to do is bring in together the people who are talking about it together. So I actually just got back from London last week, and I brought AI on the Lot to London with Todd Terrazas. Oh, so wow. We had a 2-day event where we hosted a mixer at Framestore, and we brought in people from companies like Framestore was a speaker, Odyssey. We brought in some individual AI artists, and then we brought them together to talk about like, what is AI? What does it really mean right now in the industry, right? What's happening? What are the discussions? What do we see the future being? And it's really funny because when I was in London, they mentioned how AI is kind of 5 years behind LA right now in London. So that industry over there has a lot of regulations from the EU, a lot of things stopping the production. And they were so excited that someone was talking about AI in London. So it's like, you know, it's a conversation that's not just happening in Hollywood. It's other countries also want to talk about this. So yeah, I mean, Todd Terrazas is doing a great job expanding the AI in the law community, not just in the US, but like London, India, Singapore. He's growing it immensely. So he did bring me on to help build that global environment.
If you will say a line in how you think stories are being produced and distributed right now because of AI, what would you say?
Ooh, okay. So that's a tricky one to say. But if I had to say one line about how AI is helping storytelling, I would say that really AI is helping you do things that you just couldn't do before. And I hate to say that because I know how much work and artistry and effort goes into any scene in a movie. But let's say budgets are slim and you need to create this explosive scene that couldn't be done without a multi-million-dollar budget. AI can help you do it. So I think, you know, no matter what your budget is, no matter how experienced you are, I feel like just knowing how to use the tools like AI can help elevate whatever you're trying to create within your story.
Definitely. And one thing that I'm getting from the research that I'm doing is that all these big budget movies, and we're talking about 200 million movies, not obviously 2,000 or 20,000, but are the ones that are going to be more affected because with a 20 million movie budget, we can do better with AI, right? Exactly. So, but what would you say, another question, that is something, a technology that is underrated that nobody's knowing right now that you would like to tell us about?
Ooh, okay, so I think a technology that's underrated. One that I've been working with a lot lately has been not me personally, but I work with a lot of creators who use it, is Beeple. So like relighting using AI. That's been a
Okay.
really interesting tool to follow what they're doing right now. So yeah, Beeble's been a really fun one. Been using a lot of Lightcraft as well, the Jet Set app to do previs
Oh,
on set. That's been really
okay.
cool. I've been hearing a lot about that one. What else? I feel like there's so many cool tools that I see every day. Um, and then there also are all the, the AI tools that are coming up. So there's some for like helping with planning shots. There's some with helping with script writing,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So, all
With
the AI
everything.
tools, it's so funny because I can't even name a single one, but you name it and there is an AI tool for it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And so that's why we have to keep not just being afraid. Like I said, no, just take advantage of that and just keep moving with that. I remember when we went for a cafecito, a Cuban coffee. I don't know, it wasn't Cuban, but we were talking and you were telling me about, you were coming from full-time jobs, doing great jobs on those companies, but you wanted to do more. And I think maybe because I'm an entrepreneur and I am a very independent person, that you're doing great, that you're serving a lot of different people, clients, and you're doing great with your decision, or being a marketer in the entertainment industry for film and TV and uniting people. You not talking about your clients specifically, but what are some exciting things that you're doing right now?
Yeah. It's funny because I've been wanting to go out on my own for a few years now. So I feel like when we first had our coffee, I was either at Leica or Disguise. I can't even remember now. We've had a few coffees.
And you were moving, yeah.
Exactly. And I've always wanted to go on my own. And I was so excited to just jump the gun. And I'm happy that, circumstances left me to where I am. But oh man, okay, there's a few things I'm excited for. So a few of my clients, obviously there's all the product launches and all the really cool events. But one event that I'm really excited to get more involved in is IBC in Amsterdam.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I've been
okay.
helping out the clients now create a strategy for IBC, how to do, I've been working with NAB for the last 3-4 years now,
Mm.
building the booths, building the strategy for the setup. So now it's cool to bring that same knowledge to like a global trade show like IBC. So that's always a fun one. My passion also lies with product launches. So as much as I love events and I love community, I love launching products. So coming up with like the strategy behind what's the campaign going to look like, what's going to be like our messaging behind it. So I really do get excited about brainstorming the go-to-market strategy, understanding the core of the product. How are we going to tell it to our customers? So I do have 3 product launches in the next 3 weeks, right
Oh,
before
wow.
NAB. Yes. So I'm going to be a little busy coming up now, but again, that's what that's where my love for marketing came from. The events is really more just like a passion that's become what I do as well.
I know, and I know you travel with your husband, and you go to Miami too. And so, what things do you do to take care of your well-being?
I have a monthly spa membership.
Oh,
So, you got to take care of yourself as well. So I relax as much as I can. I do live here on Venice Beach. If I look out the window, I do see the ocean.
oh,
Today I saw dolphins outside my window. So,
oh my God!
I'll take a break from work and just look out my window and I call the dolphins. I like always look for them. So
Oh
yeah, I do
wow!
that to like take my mind off work. I have a dog, so I walk my dog on the beach. And then, yeah, I love to travel. So whenever I travel for work, like you just mentioned, I bring my husband and we make a trip out of it.
Oh,
So last week when we were in London, we ended up going to Berlin after with some friends, which was really fun.
oh.
I go snowboarding. I like to snowboard to, get my mind off work. So yeah, a lot of my relaxation comes from, activities like snowboarding, beach activities or travel.
Mm, good. So now tell me, what's one of the series that you like that we can think about it or go and watch if we haven't?
Yes. Well, I just finished Bridgerton last night. Oh
Oh,
my
you did?
gosh. I did finish Bridgerton. Yes, I've been following it since the beginning. And Bridgerton was actually one of those shows that I worked on when I was at Netflix. So I
Oh,
was the one who would approve all the press releases that different VFX vendors would submit to
wow.
Netflix. And, it was interesting because, yeah, you had to make sure that the work was showing the quality of the show. So while I was reading these press releases, I really did have a producer's mind on, right? So like understanding how they talked about the show, understanding how, how important like even the color of a show is, or, how the sets were created. It really did make me love the show even more. So watching Bridgerton now, I watch it knowing like, okay, that's set. I could see how that was made. Okay, the VFX here, I like that. This coloring here, very cool. Okay. So yeah, it's one of those shows that I love watching because it really was there from the beginning of me working on in the industry a few years ago.
Wow. So now tell me, do you think being bilingual has helped in your career?
100%. So last month, work brought me to Chile and Brazil. So that was fun too. And in Chile, speaking Spanish, I was doing demos for my client Valinga in Spanish all day. I'm so proud of myself. I can explain a Gaussian splat in Spanish. Not many people can do that.
You didn't know. Oh my
So
God.
that was really cool, talking about like the 3D environments and how to make it work in Spanish. And then going to Brazil, even though they speak Portuguese, I made, a little Espangani. I don't know how you say the mixture, but Portuguese, Spanish mix, we made it work. So yeah, I think, having that diversity really helps. Also, Valinga is a Spanish company. They're based in the Canary Islands. So when we go to meetings, if there's notes in Spanish, I could understand them. And yeah, I mean, that's just one component. Also, living in LA, there's a lot of, it's a multicultural city. So people you meet in the industry speak Spanish, and it's really cool to be able to have, that second form of communication.
Yeah, and I remember in Miami, that's what I say. We always have a sign saying we speak English because we mostly speak Spanish. But it's so good that our kids, learn that language also. That show, and I remember when you were saying Portuguese, I remember sometimes I was the supervising producer for a Brazilian show from UK to be aired in Brazil, and the Spanish with Portuguese really that help. We can learn that even Italian.
Exactly. And then growing up in Miami too, there's a whole bunch of, people from Brazil that go to Miami. So I worked at J. Crew growing up, in college, and there would always be Brazilians at the store. The mall was a very international mall. It was Dadeland. So we had all the tourists coming, and I would see people from Brazil all the time speaking Portuguese. I kind of learned a few of the words, not just small, medium, large, but also like how they talk.
Yeah, we can communicate, I think. But it's so great. I wanted to touch on that, on you being bilingual. So one last question that I try to always make. Who do you think are the Hollywood makers of today?
Ooh, okay. Let's see. There's a few people that I have been following for a bit. I think one of them is, so an old friend of mine that I've been following for a while is Alex Pierce. He's been working in the industry doing a company called Simplates. He's amazing. I've been following Michelle Suiza for a while. He's been doing some really great work, previously at B&H, now on his own. Even my client, Fernando Rivas, in Valinga, I've been following him since he started doing Nerfs back in 2022. He's amazing. Now I'm looking out for Todd Terrazas, whatever he's working on. That's also really cool. Catherine Brilhart is an amazing VP supervisor. Always watching her work. She's fascinating. There's just so many people in my community that I watch and follow. It's really hard to see, but just everyone in this industry is so amazing, and it's really awesome seeing what everyone is constantly sharing, posting on LinkedIn. Whenever I get invited to sets as well to watch people's work in action, it makes me so happy. So yeah, there's too many people to count, but I think collectively Hollywood is everyone. It's not just one single person. So it's really hard to pinpoint a single guy.
Yeah, no, and I wanted to say that because for me, you are a Hollywood maker. You who really unite, like I say, the intersection between technology and all the work that you've done with storytellers and all of that. For me, you are a true Hollywood maker of today. And you mentioned, I just want to go back to something that you mentioned in LinkedIn, because from someone young and so experienced and so like you are, there are some people that said LinkedIn is not for young people, but for millennials. And millennials have to be in Instagram or in these other apps. What do you think about that?
I disagree. I love LinkedIn. I feel like I'm on LinkedIn every day. What I love about LinkedIn is that it's not your typical social media platform. I know some people complain about like seeing, Facebook style posts there, but on my end, what I love seeing is the creatives work. So I love going on there and seeing VFX breakdown reels, or people who are shooting on a new VP stage, or people coming from a trade show with energy to collaborate. I feel like that's one of my favorite things, like coming off of a show and seeing all the energy of people posting about the trade show. It's so exciting. So for me, it's really a tool for motivation of my career. So,
Yes.
I mean, maybe it's because I'm a millennial too, but I love it.
But you're a millennial and you also use the other, but for me, and it's in that way, and I know some people, but I've seen so many young people too take advantage of LinkedIn and Substack and this other where you can show what you're doing or build a community. And
Exactly.
again, thank you so much, Karin. You're a community builder and in this entertainment industry that is recalibrating, is not evolving anymore, it's recalibrating, and you're doing your work on that. Thank you for being
Oh,
one Hollywood maker and for being here with us.
thank you so much. No, it was really great chatting with you and, telling you a bit about my story. So thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you.